Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a special presentation of the Angel Award. It's my honor to be with you for our third year presenting this program in partnership with LPB. I'm Dan Bornay, and I'll be your host tonight as we take a look into the lives of 9 everyday people doing extraordinary good for Louisiana's children. More than 200,000 of you watched our broadcast over the last 2 years. Tonight we're back in the studio to share our angel stories as far and wide as possible. So what is the Angel Award? Across Louisiana, there are many children without access to everything they need to thrive. Healthy food, loving homes, mentorship, creative play, and educational opportunity. But there are also very special people working to meet those needs each and every day. We call them angels, and the Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana Foundation has been honoring them and telling their stories for nearly 30 years. Since 1995, the Angel Award has recognized more than 250 champions for children from every walk of life, volunteers, nonprofit professionals, educators, and much more. Their commitment to showing up day after day is what makes them stand apart.
The Angel Award, we think, is really remarkable because it highlights people who go above and beyond in support of kids. These aren't necessarily the people who are the headlines. They're not necessarily the people who make and get attention all over, but these are the people who are doing the real work that improves kids' lives day in and day out.
The Angel Award comes with a grant, but also a lot of attention from other partners and funders across the state. So often the few years after receiving the award can be filled with rapid periods of growth for many of our angel organizations.
I think that celebrating the unsung hero is really what the Angel Award is about. When I think about the people who are really unsung heroes that the Angel Award has highlighted, I think of Joe Rochelle, who is, I think, 95 when we gave him the award, who'd been a consistent volunteer for decades, meeting the needs of kids, sharing joy. I think of, Elijah, one of our 13-year-old honorees who himself had faced remarkable challenges and found a way to give back to the kids at his school and his community. Christy Jones is just a remarkable example of a mom who had a child that had special needs, and those needs weren't getting met, so she stepped in and met the needs of her kid. And then other parents raised their hand and said, you're doing remarkable things, can my kid join you? And that work grew from happening in a living room to the St. Nicholas Center for Children, which is now doing remarkable things for kids in Southwest Louisiana, but all over our state, helping parents with kids with autism and other special needs. Christy's story is remarkable, the growth of the St. Nicholas Center for Children. But it's by no means the only one. Our angels are remarkable individuals in that they see a problem, they step up and meet that problem, and they continue growing their work. And so there are hundreds of examples across the state of Louisiana of our angels, day in and day out, growing their work to meet the needs of kids in and around their community.
One of the biggest areas that we're seeing that angels need support with and that we're able to offer at the foundation is to help them figure out how to sustain their work, how to continue to grow and thrive so that they can continue to serve their children and also continue to grow.
Foundation's been giving the Angel Award for nearly 30 years now. And when we first gave out the award, it was to highlight people. And over time, we began adding resources, grants to the Angel Award. And in the last number of years, we've added additional supports from professional development and coaching to tactical grants, to most recently our Angels of Change grants that encourage our angels to collaborate together and solve problems that may align to what they're all facing.
The most frequent request for help we get is how to raise more money. So often that includes just getting them out in front of donors, out in front of additional supporters, really helping to tell their story and all the impact that they're making for kids in their community. They're very often humble people, and so they don't like to brag on themselves, but it's helping them find different ways to bring their story to life and show the impact that they're making with kids.
I started with the foundation in 2015, and I've now had the opportunity to meet 7 classes of angels over that time. What inspires me most is, yes, their individual stories, but it's this year after year, we sort of think, well, how could we ever find another class that's as inspiring as last year? And there's more people, and that happens again and again. There's truly great people out there, and it's an honor to be able to tell their stories.
Doing good work that truly changes lives takes many hands and lots of resources. That's why each Angel Award comes with a $25,000 grant made to the Honorees nonprofit of choice. Over the years, the award has helped shine the light on hundreds of important organizations, helping them grow and find new levels of support.
So when I received the call that I had received the Angel Award, it was during our normal fundraising development time. And to get a call like that from an organization like this with the recognition, that was very, very exciting as executive director to know that our program was funded, that we can continue our work for another year. And it also opened up a lot of doors with other funders, knowing that we had the support and backing of Blue Cross Blue Shield Foundation. So with the funds that we received, we were able to serve more students by opening up a pilot site at Southeastern Louisiana University to serve up to 20 to 25 more students. There's so many local heroes that we never get to honor and give their flowers to. So anyone that you feel that you've been admiring over the past years, it only takes a few minutes to make them feel honored. And that even if they don't get nominated, or just telling them that, hey, I see you, that gives them all the energy and reason to continue their journey. Being a nonprofit and doing community work is really hard. It is gratifying, but sometimes that gratification, we don't see it. We don't see it every day. So this honor, especially for small organizations, it just energizes everybody. It energizes the board, the staff, leadership, and it really just fuels us to keep going and doing the good work.
The Angel Award is just one of many ways that Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana and its foundation invest in our state. Since 2020, we've granted more than $24 million to hundreds of nonprofits on the front lines of making our communities better, stronger, and more resilient. Our angels know that sometimes all it takes to change a young person's life is one caring, committed person who's willing to take action. So are you ready to meet some change makers? Our first honoree tonight is a beloved teacher at Blue Bridge ASL Academy who left retirement to teach American Sign Language to deaf and hard of hearing children and their families. She's bridging the gap between deaf and hearing communities for a new generation. This is Alicia Bergeron of Baton Rouge.
My name is Alicia Bergeron, and I work here at Blue Bridge ASL Academy as a teacher assistant working with children. Blue Bridge ASL Academy is an American Sign Language English language immersion program for children birth to age 5. Language deprivation for children that have hearing loss is a problem. There's a window in early childhood where language development happens. If a child, especially a child that might have hearing loss, is in an environment where they're missing out on that language, we're losing precious time.
We've been open for 2 years. We have served about 150 students, which is 150 families that have either a deaf or hard of hearing child or someone in their family that is deaf or hard of hearing.
It's important with deaf children that they have, communication access in ASL as they move through school. You don't want them to go into school and then later learn sign language. You want them to have the opportunity to have language as they're growing and move into school through their educational journey. I chose ABL to donate the prize money to help support deafblind services. ABL, Affiliated Blind of Louisiana. They provide training for deafblind individuals to become more independent in their everyday lives, skills. They provide equipment as well to help them to become more independent instead of having to rely on other people. We're trying to, alleviate that dependency. I am eternally grateful to Miss Alicia for her support of this program from the very beginning. her hours and hours of dedication, her rallying the troops, getting people in here, and then her deaf presence and representation in this building, so crucial to our babies because they're looking up, they want to see deaf role models. I want to provide that for them. And so Miss Alicia is a wonderful, wonderful representation of the deaf community, not only for our staff here, but also our babies who are looking up to her as a representative of their community.
When I was a kid, my hearing problems led to a lot of speech impediments, and it was really difficult for me to communicate with anyone outside of my family. It led to a lot of frustration. That's why it's so great for kids to be able to learn ASL and have access to this at such an early age, to be able to communicate with family, people outside, and that's why Miss Alicia has been doing such a great job, and everything she does is so incredible for the school.
My son Tyler was born deaf. At 1, he was implanted with cochlear implants. We saw an improvement immediately when we brought him to Blue Ridge. Within weeks, his attention span improved. It was a drastic change. Alicia gave Tyler a lot of one-on-one time. In those couple weeks, that one-on-one focus that he needed because Blue Ridge tailored to Tyler's care. They didn't look at him as just another number coming in. They actually cared. It just melted my heart. It just felt right.
Being a teacher is hard, and a teacher of special needs kids is even harder. Miss Alicia wakes up every morning with a smile on her face. She comes in, she's patient with the kids, and she's eager to teach them what she knows. The fact that she loves these kids is why they respond to her so well, and they learn and grow so easily with her.
Alicia is an easy person to get along with. She has a heart of gold. She would do anything for anyone to help the community out there. I want to see the children that I taught grow, continue to sign, meet with deaf people. When they grow up, they're like, oh, I remember my sign language. I want deaf children to learn from Blue Bridge and have their language foundation so when they go on, they're able to use ASL. I just want them to grow and meet new friends and see a deaf individual and go up to them. Hi, my name is this. I learned ASL from Blue Bridge ASL Academy. I was there until I was 5. Those kind of things. Really, the staff here is awesome. They work so hard with these children, teaching them. It's a great program.
Alicia is not only a teacher, but also a mother and grandmother to many, and is the very definition of an angel in their lives. Father Michael Champagne is a Catholic priest and the leader of a religious order dedicated to serving those living in poverty, particularly around St. Martinville. The order provides shelter, education, and life skills to hundreds of children each year.
Put in like a toaster and I'll put it in a trip breaker. I'm Father Michael Champagne. I'm the director of St. Teresa's Center for the Works of Mercy in St. Martinville. St. Teresa's Center for the Works of Mercy was founded in 2016 to perform works of mercy in the spirit of Mother Teresa of Calcutta. And we feed the poor. We have a food bank where we serve hot meals. We also work with at-risk youth in the area through an oratory, which is a center for youth to be in a safe environment to learn trades and a recreational setting. Our religious community is based in St. Martinville, Louisiana, and in 2016 there was a big flood, and a lot of people were flooded and trapped in their homes. So we just did the charitable thing and went out to their homes, and I started to realize how people were living. And so our community got together and started St. Teresa's Center for Works of Mercy to do work for the poor. Through our programs, we've helped over 450 needy families, and many of those children are coming through our oratory Don Bosco and experiencing the trades and the school and the Bible studies.
The things I love the most about being here at the oratory is watching the kids' faces light up when they see something new, a new activity that they get to do, and love watching the interaction between the religious and the kids in the community.
What's inspired me with seeing Father Champagne work with these kids is that he's willing to be very patient with them and very loving and kind of meeting them where they're at. he's just willing to love them kind of unconditionally.
We live in a world that's not very good at noticing, seeing people's individual needs, and that's what we're trying to do. Some of the ways that we try to do that is by feeding people that are hungry, listening to people who don't have anyone there to talk to, teaching children how to do things to support themselves, or just basic life skills, and then being there just to love people, to be present to people in whatever their situations are.
Was that a 10? Yeah, try that. Our Oratory Don Bosco is really like a workshop. We teach both the guys and the gals trades. Some of the trades that we focus upon and teach: carpentry, electrical work, small engines, auto mechanics, welding, gardening. One of the reasons why we focus on trades is because a lot of our young people want to do that, and they're going to make a very lucrative career and be able to provide for a family when they get out of high school if they know a trade and become interested in it. So we give them skills early on, and we discern what interests they have, and then we start to focus on that and put them in that direction. So when they get out of high school, they can go on to trade school and do very, very well for their family.
He's doing all this stuff, especially the oratory, to help out the kids learn essential skills like how to fix cars and stuff. I think that's like amazing. We need more people like Father Champagne in this world.
I think one of the great successes of any ministry is the goodwill of people, and this has been an overwhelming numbers of volunteers that we have that want to work with our children, that want to assist, and an army of people show up with willing hands and hearts to love and hands to serve. And none of this would be possible without the literally hundreds of volunteers that we have through our ministries.
His mind is always going, looking for the next project, the next thing to help out. When he sees a need, immediately he starts working on it.
He's an amazing guy. I love him. I love his masses. Probably my favorite homilies are from him because you could relate to them. He kind of puts it down on ground level as us people here in St. Martinville. It's like he talks about things that you can relate to.
He's super sweet, very caring about us. His ice cream is the best. He's the best person I could ever meet, really.
I think one of the most important things we do here working with our young people is to give them good memories. That when I grew up as a child, I had a lot of good memories, and a lot of our children don't. They don't have good memories. So we spend time with them, we listen to them, give them some dreams, things to dream about, and we believe in them. We try to encourage them. It's a great consolation to be able to see transformation in young people that begin to have a bright future and believe in themselves and to be confident. A lot of times today, the children come in with their heads down and they leave with their heads up and confident. It's a great joy for me. I do the same when I leave, tired, but a happy tired.
Father Champagne always credits the many people who support the children of St. Martinville, religious brothers and sisters and lay people. But it's his presence as a guiding parental figure to so many that has earned him his Angel Award. In Natchitoches, Cane River Children's Services has been a singular force in meeting the needs of abused and neglected young women, including shelter, counseling, and health care. And for the last 30 years, that organization has been led by our next Angel Honoree, Jennifer Carley.
My name is Jennifer Carley. I'm the CEO at Cane River Children's Services. Cane River Children's Services is a place of hope for children and families who've experienced childhood trauma. Many of the children have come from vulnerable backgrounds and have experienced childhood abuse, neglect, and dysfunctional family systems. And we specialize in working with children who have experienced sexual abuse, which has really impacted their life in a negative way.
Cane River Children's Services takes in a diverse group of young women, ages from 13 to 18. Those young ladies who have had such a negative experience so early in their life have already formulated thoughts and perceptions of people, and one of it is trust. And the people they were supposed to trust are the people who failed them.
For decades, Cane River has been an integral part in the service array to make sure that young girls in our system have a place to live. Jennifer and her staff have found a way to nurture young girls into adulthood when these girls don't have that connection to their family or other adults who are able to do that for them.
When a girl comes to the group home, she has a special need that we need to focus on. And she spends a lot of time working with connecting with family members, learning about healthy relationships, working in therapy to resolve whatever trauma that she's experienced in her early life, and finding ways that she can function better in the future. Transitional living is for older youth who need advanced life skills so that they can learn how to live on their own. Some of those skills are educational training, occupational training, so that they can achieve their goals and have a healthy future. At our counseling center, we provide services for the community and all the children that we serve. So families, children, individuals can all seek help there. We also provide services for the community related to domestic violence. So families or children who are involved in those situations can also come and get help at the counseling center.
We can't find any other places that do the work that Cane River does. They truly, truly care. This is not just a job. These people are absolutely dedicated to their mission. And these girls pick that up. Many of the kids come there, they haven't had parents, they haven't had any kind of structure, any kind of guidance. And fairly quickly they realize they can get that there. And they come away with a sense of having a family, which they didn't have before.
When these children first come in, naturally they're a little bit afraid, scared. It's all new. But over time, they begin to grow and connect, and they realize that they can trust us. We do what we say we're going to do, and we're there for them when they have needs. We show up at their special events and their dances and their graduations. It may just be a home for a certain period of their life, but it's a home nonetheless. And we want to teach them what they need to know so that they can build healthy families themselves.
She's never wavered in her sense of mission for Cane River. She's always tried to make it better. She never loses sight of her vision. She's such a sensitive soul. She's pretty impressive.
There are so many great qualities about Jennifer, but I think the one that stands out to everybody who knows her is that she is totally driven by love. She always puts the other person first. She cannot see a situation where a child is in need that she cannot think there's something that she could do to help them.
When you're committed to helping children, whether it's my own child or whether it's a child at work, they need all of you. They need you to be present. These children deserve love like anybody else does. And to take the time to love someone, to show respect, to be there, it takes all of you. But in the end, it makes the difference. And then that cycle of abuse begins to change. They just need people who will invest in them so that they can meet their full potential.
Jennifer has helped to change the lives of many young women through her tireless service. We are honored to have her as part of our angel family. Our next angel, Leslie Lacey of Baton Rouge, was working as a family attorney in the foster care system when she started paying for her clients' braces out of pocket, something that the system didn't pay for. Since then, Leslie founded a nonprofit and now works full-time to connect foster children to orthodontic and mental health services.
That's what we're doing, these 4 steps.
My name is Leslie Lacey. I am the founder and executive director of Fostering Hope Louisiana. Fostering Hope Louisiana is an organization created to put braces on children in foster care and also address their mental health needs. I decided to commit to Fostering Hope Louisiana full-time in 2021, which is when I offered my resignation as a children's attorney. I represented children for about 6 years before I realized that while their medical needs were being met, their dental needs were being met, their orthodontic needs were not. I came to understand that the process for getting braces was pretty intensive, and that's what prompted me to start the organization.
What we are doing is helping these kids who would not get help otherwise. A success, as I see it, is helping one child at a time.
I had a client, her name was Brittany. She had such wonderful aspirations. She wanted to be a lawyer, a social worker, help other children like herself one day. And then it just occurred to me, as much as I believed in her and academically, her personality, she had everything to do what she wanted to do. I just met with her and I said, you know what? You can do everything that you set your mind to do. You will do it. But I think there's one thing we need to work on, and that's your teeth. And she looked at me and she said, oh, I couldn't agree more, Miss Lacey. And that's how it all started.
Leslie came to me. She found an individual that she wanted to do something for her, and she felt that braces and straightening her teeth would give her a jump start in life. So she paid for it. And then she started trying to bring other people. And after a while I said, Leslie, you can't do this. I said, you can't pay for everybody's braces that needs braces. We need to do something else. And that's when she found another way to do that.
Fostering Hope Louisiana has the ability to meet a need that is not being met by any other organization in the state of Louisiana. The idea is to see to it that every child in foster care that needs braces and orthodontic work has access to that. It's covered by no Medicaid funding or state funding in any other manner. The number of kids that need this is finite, and you can solve that. There's very few problems you can solve completely.
We go all across the state. We've been in Covington, Baton Rouge. We're going to be in Shreveport, training young people how to care for their teeth. When you attend an oral health life skills training, you will see young people with model teeth practicing how to brush and floss. They'll be learning about how to care for their teeth and what foods are best for their teeth. You will also see them learning and interacting with partners in the community like Chase Bank, who are teaching financial literacy, or maybe our volunteers from NAMI who teach about teen dating violence or communication skills.
These foster kids already have a tough start in life. And what Leslie and her foundation is trying to do is give them a break. Braces for a young kid that doesn't have a lot of self-confidence, it can really change their lives. It can boost their self-confidence.
When Derek came to live with us, it was very obvious that he needed braces. It was one of those things that stood out. And in school, he was made fun of, he was bullied because of his teeth. Now that he got braces, he's just a different child. And I know it's because of the braces. I know it is. It's just a wonderful program. And I'm so happy that he's part of it. It's already made a difference in his life and in our life. So I'm so happy.
Leslie's going to make a lot of difference in people's lives. And I think this is just one of the things that she's going to accomplish in her life. I think she's a special individual who's going to constantly make the world a better place. She feels for these kids and wants to do everything to make their lives as normal as possible.
Fostering Hope Louisiana continues to grow, and there is no doubt that Leslie will work hard until every child has access to the services that are needed. We're about halfway through our program, and it's a good time to mention that we've created a special website where you can learn more about each of our Angel Honorees. It's at angelawardla.com. And while you're there, take a moment to consider sending a supportive note, signing up to volunteer, or even making a gift directly to any of the causes represented by our angels tonight. Now let's meet the rest of our angels. Each year, we honor a Blue Angel, an employee of Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Louisiana, who has shown extraordinary commitment to children. This year, the foundation has selected Belika Hurst Trahan of Lake Charles. Belika is a longtime supporter of the Family and Youth Counseling Agency, where she helps to make sure everyone has access to mental health services.
My name is Belika Trahan, Strategic Account Manager with Blue Cross, and I am a volunteer with Family and Youth Counseling Agency.
Family and Youth Counseling Agency is a multi-brand organization that has developed over the past 25 years, but overall, Family and Youth provides counseling, education, and advocacy for the benefit of the citizens of Southwest Louisiana. We provide services for kids who have lost a significant person in their lives through grief counseling. We provide services to mothers who just had a baby and are experiencing postpartum depression. We also provide leadership development opportunities for are high school age young people who deserve the opportunity to learn. That and many more services are offered under the divisions of Family and Youth.
Family Youth Counseling Agency was able to be my listening ear and help me through the process of being a single mother of 2 kids at the particular time. When I first came into Family and Youth, I learned so much about the organization, but also learning about statistics of what's going on in the state of Louisiana, such as human trafficking, the child abuse cases. I just could not be not a part of this organization. It allowed me to have that passion and drive to say, okay, how can we do more?
I've found in my experience, folks either are taught or born with a desire to give, a desire to be committed, to be in their community and work. And I find Velika's, that's built into her fiber, into her DNA. She is just by nature a person that's going to try to help.
Velika has served on many advisory councils here at Family and Youth. Advisory councils provide support and guidance for all of our divisions to ensure that every client's needs are met. Velika is an amazing volunteer. It's so hard to find volunteers in this day and age, and she really provides the compassion and expertise that we really look for on our advisory councils, and it really helps us meet the needs of each and every one of our clients.
Velika's advocacy and intentionality of growing youth and supporting youth at our local and state and federal level shows that she believes that our youth are our future. Her work will have a major impact on our children.
Southwest Louisiana experienced a variety of disasters within our region. We had families who lost everything that they owned. And so providing services, whether it's mental health or toiletries or any type of good to our community is what is needed. Our children are going to be the leaders of our community and of society, and we want to make sure that we're meeting their needs in every capacity that we can.
Blue Cross does support this organization and also supports me being a community leader within it. So not just Family and Youth, but everything else that I do for the community, they support 100%. Blue Cross is about improving the health and the lives of Louisianans. Giving back as part of the Blue Cross organization, that's just our everyday culture. It's not just, this is something foreign, this is just what we do. And that's embedded in the process.
There is a lot of energy in Velika, and there is a lot of heart. Her mind is in the right place. She wants to contribute to the betterment of Southwest Louisiana and the communities that she serves, and the energy is there.
I think that if you want a why for Velika's service in the community, it's because she has a heart for women and children. And you can see that as a single mother, she saw how important it was to her success that other people in her community were a village around her, and she wants to give that back.
My goal at the end of the day, I want kids to be happy. I want them to be healthy. I want them to be whole mentally. And we want a better future for our kids. Period.
The foundation is making a $10,000 grant to the Family and Youth Counseling Agency in Velika's name. On behalf of all of your colleagues, we are honored to be part of your team, Velika, and we join your many, many supporters in thanking you for all that you do. In 2004, Melissa Sawyer was part of a 3-person team that founded Louisiana's first comprehensive juvenile reentry program. As the CEO of the Youth Empowerment Project, she has been a remarkable leader in building communities to meet the needs of young people in New Orleans.
My name is Melissa Sawyer, and I am a co-founder and CEO of Youth Empowerment Project based in New Orleans, Louisiana. The Youth Empowerment Project is a community-based nonprofit organization that provides young people in the greater New Orleans area with comprehensive education, mentoring, employment readiness, and enrichment services.
That's the most important thing.
Young people that access the services at YEP are coming from a variety of different places. Some of them are referred by a judge or the court system. Some of them maybe have not had too much success in the traditional K-12 school system, and so they're coming to us to work on their high school equivalency. And some folks are just looking for a really positive, engaging space, and that's something that we're able to provide through our programs and services. Our primary target age is as young as 7, all the way up to about 24. But through our adult education work, we really try to accept anybody in the community that's in need of that support. And so we see a lot of students that are coming maybe in their 60s or 70s because that's a service that they need help with.
Before we started YAP, the three founders had been doing statewide work, meeting with kids who were incarcerated in secure facilities, trying to figure out what supports they needed, how we could help support them when they went home so they could actualize their potential. What we realized was there were very few supports or organizations across the state of Louisiana that were set up to truly meet the compounded, comprehensive needs of young people who had been removed from their families and communities, who had been involved in the justice system and needed a lot of different supports.
I think what YEP does at its core is help children who haven't had some of the advantages that many children have. And so as we look at some of the challenges facing New Orleans, YEP is right in the forefront of addressing some of those challenges by helping these children.
We do everything from free after-school programs, summer camp programs, teen camp programs, a sleepaway camp for young people impacted by substance abuse in their homes, provide young people with a high school equivalency. We also provide young people ages 16 to 24 with employment readiness training. We run a fully operational thrift store and a bike shop where young people are working and learning the skills they need to succeed. YEP also still provides mentoring services to young people who are either involved in the justice system or at risk of justice engagement, with the goal of them having no further justice engagement.
One of the consistent things about Melissa is her lack of fear. To go forward to where we are today, you have to be willing to fail. She was never afraid of failure. And because she wasn't afraid of failure, she succeeded. And YEP has succeeded.
80% of the young people that we served last year made a social emotional gain during their time in the program. And young people are leaving with all different types of opportunities when they exit our programs. Job opportunities, industry-based credentials, opportunities to move on to post-secondary. Also, 90% of the young people that are referred by our juvenile justice partners actually avoid further justice system involvement at the time that they exit the program, hopefully leading to a decreased likelihood that they reoffend in the future. They know that now they have a group of people in their corner that can be that safety net, that support system for them no matter where they go, and that they just have more information and just access to the tools about how to get to wherever they want to be in their lives.
There's always work that we can do better. I'm learning every day. I'm still becoming, I think, a better person, a more thoughtful person. I think we never stop learning and growing, and that's really important.
Melissa's drive, her tenacity, the love, the energy that she has is really contagious, you know, and then you look at what she's doing. Melissa is a phenomenal woman.
I was taught from a young age that it's your responsibility to do all you can to leave the world a better place than you found it. That came from my grandmother, that came from my parents. It's about really your values are what's most important, and trying to live your values in a way that you are not harming others but helping others. And that was something that was instilled in me from a very young age.
The Youth Empowerment Project will continue to be an anchor for children in the New Orleans region, and Melissa's legacy will be the thriving and successful community of young people she has inspired. Shockingly, as many as 20% of students make a suicide plan each year, a number that's only grown because of isolation during the COVID pandemic. Jan Daniels has developed and led a program called Signs of Suicide, which has taught more than 55,000 students, teachers, and other professionals how to recognize when a student is in crisis and how to connect them to life-saving help.
I'm Jan Daniels, the Youth Development Coordinator for the Children's Coalition for Northeast Louisiana, and also run the Signs of Suicide program for our community. Signs of Suicide program is the program that we go into area middle schools in our community, and we train children on what to listen for or how to react if someone is having suicidal ideations or speaking of threats or having any type of mental health issues. We also train adults in our area schools, administrators, even the school bus drivers, cafeteria workers in Signs of Suicide. This program exists here locally in Monroe because of a dear friend of mine had lost their son to suicide. And she approached me one day and said, I really think you're the person that can make this program work. And that's how the story began 18 years ago.
The Children's Coalition in Jan brought in the Signs of Suicide. And we've been able to use that program to screen children and to try to identify issues that they may have that we may not have ever seen outside of just a regular day-to-day interaction with children.
We've trained over 55,000 students and professionals in this program in the past 18 years. This curriculum consists of a training program. We go into the schools and we're the PE teacher for the day, and we teach kids the signs of suicide, what to look for in their peers, what to look for in themselves, and how to react. We want to make sure that they know that they need to go to a trusted adult and know who that trusted adult is. And then we come back the next week with parents' consent and we screen. If they screen positive, we have a licensed counselor that sees them individually then and there, and then directly calls the parent and refers them out for services. When we sit down with them individually and we hear the stories of how they've had a plan for over a month of how they're going to kill themselves, it punches you in the stomach every single time.
This is one of the ways that we have been able to have an impact on children as well as our community, ensuring that we are being able to fill in that gap to make sure they're screened and they are being referred out.
With today's students, we have issues that they face on a daily basis, whether it be trauma in the home, it could be issues at school, it could be social media, it could just be how they're developing physically. So they have a lot of things coming at them from every direction. Social media has caused kids to look at themselves differently than they have, I think, in the past. Whenever I was growing up, all I had to do was look in a mirror. Well, now social media is their mirror, and it's 24/7. That is a huge impact on how kids interact with each other, how they interact with adults, and how they interact with just society in general.
We have to have programs like this. We have to invest more in the mental well-being of our children. We have to be mindful not to minimize or diminish what they see as problems. It is manifesting not just in their grades, in their behavior, in their language, and on their spirit. And that worries me.
I think people need to understand that this is a big problem in our society right now with our children. And programs like this and the things that Jan has done to get this in our community is just invaluable.
We know that we can depend on Jan to take care of anything that we need to when it comes to the needs of our children, no matter what the age level is, no matter what school it's in. Jan is always there. All we have to do is just call her and say, Jan, we need, and she says, just let me know and I will take care of it.
In this work, there are many days that we go home and they're heavy, heavy days. But knowing that you have saved one child, that you've referred that one student out for help, it makes you want to go the next day and the next day so that you are helping other students in our community. I have a passion for children. I want to make sure everyone has a healthy life and that they get the resources they deserve and that no one has to suffer in silence. It's just important that we serve our children and we protect our children and we help our children to stay healthy.
As you can see, Jan connects with young people and adults alike through her infectious charm, positivity, and sincerity. Her work has helped many young people reconsider suicide, and she will no doubt help many more. Kim Bowman and her husband, Trey, lost their 8-year-old daughter, Bella, to side effects from pediatric cancer treatment in 2011. The loss was profoundly painful, but the Bowmans were supported in that journey by a community which helped them to create joyful memories with Bella in her final days. Afterwards, they founded the Bella Bowman Foundation to give that same support to families with children facing complex or terminal illnesses.
My name is Kim Bowman, and I am the founder and executive director of the Bella Bowman Foundation. The Bella Bowman Foundation is a nonprofit organization that helps families and children who are going through some very complex medical issues and terminal illnesses through their journeys. My daughter Bella was diagnosed with brain cancer at the age of 8. She received treatment with brain surgery and radiation, and then also treatment for her radiation necrosis. Bella triumphed through her journey for 11 months and passed away in 2011.
The last 10 days of her life were probably the most heroic of her life, certainly for ours. We made do with the situation, and we made it all about Bella. And those last 10 days, she was actually the teacher of us and showing us what life was all about.
The Bella Bowman Foundation was created by Kim and Trey Bowman after their daughter Bella passed away. Toward the end of her life, she received essentially comfort care more than medical care. They made the last few days of her life very special, and that meant a lot to Kim and Trey. And so after she passed, they wanted to start a foundation that they could share that with other children and other families.
We recognized through our journey with Bella that there were a couple of voids that we could fill. When you're told your child has cancer, we recognize what that journey looks like. And so we wanted to make that journey for others as smooth as possible.
One of the things we do is distribute comfort care bags to children in local hospitals. The bags are filled with toiletries, a blanket, a roll of quarters for the vending machine, some activities, because a lot of these hospital stays are unplanned for these families. Part of our mission is to make other people feel like they're empowered to make a difference themselves. The foundation hosts No More Chemo parties. They do lunches for staff, and we send all of our superheroes and princesses to make visits in the hospitals.
The parents there that, are there with their children 24/7, they get to see their children laughing and smiling, and the kids really get to just forget for a little bit why they're in the hospital. Their favorite princess or superhero is there, and so it really just, brightens up that moment for them while they're in the hospital.
Bella's room is part of our comfort care. Bella's room is for children who will be staying there in their last days. When we are contacted with a child that's in Bella's room in the hospital, we pretty much give that child any wish and want that we can do in that room to create a beautiful space just for them. That was something that was so wonderful for us to have those last 10 days with Bella. We want to try to create those lasting memories for these families that may be losing their child.
Kim's just always had that drive, the natural instinct to wanting to help others. I think that through the foundation that she's found this quite therapeutical in certain ways, albeit not being able to care for her own. Going through the journey of Bella being sick and having to care for Bella as much as she did on a day in and day out basis, that was the true foundation of what she's been able to become today, and the reason she's been able to be so compassionate to helping others.
4 years ago, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, and right after I was diagnosed, Miss Kim stepped in and she became a very important person in my family's life. I was always so scared about losing my hair because going into it, I knew cancer patients lose their hair. We went wig shopping with her daughter Baylor, and she bought me a wig, styled it, everything, and then after we bought it, she helped me shave my head, and it was such a fun day because that is something that I was really scared of, and she helped me conquer that fear.
Kim is probably the most genuinely compassionate person I've ever met. Everything she does truly comes from the heart. She is everything you'd expect. She is the person that you want to hug from when you're not feeling good. She is the person that's going to encourage you. She is the person that if my child's not well, she would be there. She would walk alongside. Yeah, she's really special.
Kim and Trey walk closely with families through the complicated journey of childhood illness, regardless of its outcome. They have both been true angels of light to many facing dark times. Our final honoree tonight is the founder and leader of JoJo's Hope, which provides swimming lessons to people with physical and developmental disabilities. Robbie Fritcher started the organization to honor the memory of his nephew, Joseph.
My name is Robbie Fritcher. I'm the Aquatics Director for Franco's Athletic Clubs, and I'm the CEO and founder of JoJo's Hope. JoJo's Hope is an adaptive aquatics program that teaches special needs children how to swim, but we also have the swim team competition component to it.
Yep. JoJo's Hope started in 2001 with about 20 swimmers, and today in 2022 we're at 120 swimmers and going strong. We work with individuals as young as 2 years old. I believe our oldest right now is 43 years old. We're a Learn to Swim program. We're a competitive program. We are Let's Have Fun in the Water program. But most importantly, we want to instill safety.
In '98, my nephew, Joseph Michael Fritcher, drowned and had a big impact on my life, and I wanted to do something for the community to keep his name alive. Swimming was the one thing I needed to do to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And so a big part of what I do is teaching children how to swim, learning how to swim correctly and efficiently so they can be good swimmers, but also, more importantly, how to save themselves. I feel like swimming has been a gift for me. You know, it's something I identified as a swimmer my whole life. I feel like I need to give that gift back. I need to kick it down the road a little bit. So I started working with special needs kids in the late 90s. They molded me into the instructor that I became. I learned how to adapt my teaching skills to their individual needs.
Robbie saw that individuals with disabilities, they didn't have the opportunity to have swim lessons, and he just felt compelled that he needed to do that, because if he could prevent another child from drowning, he was fulfilling God's mission.
Aaron is challenged both intellectually and also ambulation-wise, walking around. So most of the time we bring her in what we call a transport chair. And we have a handicap sticker for the car, we put her in, we move her around. And that's the way she is on land most of the time. And then when she gets in the pool, all of a sudden she takes off. When she gets in the pool, she's more like a fish. And that's all to do with Robbie's program, with giving Aaron the confidence, where now she can do just as well as anybody else in the pool.
Robbie saw an opportunity in Louisiana to take individuals with disabilities and put them into competition with their typical peers. And he started that about 12 years ago and has been immensely successful with it. All individuals love competition. And in the beginning, he started out with Special Olympic swim meets. As some of the swimmers were really developing and becoming proficient in swimming, he introduced them to USA sanctioned swim meets. It was so rewarding to see how accepting the swim community was of our kids who have disabilities compete with their typical peers.
The most important thing in this work is giving an opportunity to a group of kids that don't get a lot of opportunities.
Go! Robbie's probably got one of the largest hearts of anybody that I know. He has a passion for what he does with JoJo's Hope, and it comes out in his actions.
He truly is here from sunrise to sunset. Early in the morning, he's out there coaching, and then till the day is over, he's out there. He loves what he does. He is making a difference in the lives of not just those kids in saving the lives, but in the parents, how much they appreciate the fact that he cares so much to do a program like this. It's first class.
JoJo's Hope is usually at the end of my day, and sometimes you just want to go home. I've been here all day. But every day that I leave JoJo's Hope practice, I thank God, because I needed it. It's a good way to end a long, hard day. To be with those guys out there.
All right, good job, guys.
As you saw, Robbie runs JoJo's Hope as a full-time volunteer job, arranging practices, bringing the kids to competitive meets, and anchoring the swimming family around him, in addition to his day job. His commitment to these kids is what makes him a remarkable angel. It's been my great pleasure to be with you tonight to celebrate these outstanding individuals who truly represent the best of everyday Louisianians working for good. As I say goodnight to you, I'm handing it over to Michael Tipton, the president of our foundation, to say a few final remarks.
I'd like to say thank you to a few people for helping us to put together this program, including Dan for being an excellent host. I want to give our sincerest thanks to LPB for agreeing to co-present this event with us. Thank you to my colleagues at the Blue Cross Foundation, Community Relations, and Strategic Communications teams for helping to put this together. Finally, thanks to you watching at home. Our angels need your support to keep building on their important work. If you visit our website, angelawardla.com, you'll find contact information for their organizations in case you want to volunteer or donate directly to their worthy causes. On the site, you'll also find videos that you saw tonight. An easy way you can help our angels is to share those stories on social media and help them find new supporters. Thank you again for joining us, and good night.